And here's what's happening in the studio this week.
Take a seat as Artistic Director Emeritus Greg Doran embarks on his final production for the Royal Shakespeare Company, Cymbeline. It's the only play in the First Folio, the first collection of Shakespeare's plays which marks its 400th anniversary this year, that Greg Doran has never directed.
In the studio, today at 10:30 and 21:30 GMT. At bbcworldservice.com, Heart and Soul.
In the mountains of far northeast India live the Idu Mishmi, one of the last animist tribes in the Himalayan region. Their culture is being eroded by outside influences. I'll be meeting a new generation of Idu Mishmi, fighting to save their environment and their culture.
This is the BBC World Service, the world's radio station.
Coming up on the Arts Hour with me, Nikki Beattie, Hollywood star Tom Cruise on surviving his own stunts.
I feel like the prep and the amount of work I started when I was about 4 years old. When I was jumping off buildings and climbing trees when I was a little kid.
The British actor Rosamund Pike describes the joy and freedom of audio acting. Jamaican writer Kwame McPherson talks about the Caribbean inspiring his short story. Music star and actor Dolly Parton discusses pouring herself a cup of ambition.
I was just thinking what you do when you wake up in the morning, you tumble out of bed and you stumble to the kitchen, and it came off of the kitchen. I thought, what in the world am I going to rhyme kitchen with?
And I talked to the legend of crime fiction, best-selling author Karen Slaughter about her latest book, After That Night. All that and more coming up on the Arts Hour.
Hello, I'm Emily Thomas with the BBC News. One of Ukraine's most senior military leaders has said fast results in the counter-offensive against Russia are practically impossible. Speaking to the BBC, General Alexander Syrsky said progress wasn't as quick as he'd hoped, but he said Ukrainian forces were surrounding the city of Bakhmut. Jonathan Beale reports.
Alexander Syrsky is the general who led the defence of Kyiv soon after the Russian invasion. Now he's in charge of military operations in the east, one of the two main axes where Ukrainian forces are trying to seize back territory. General Syrsky told the BBC he'd like to get very fast results, but in reality, he said, it was practically impossible. Russia had prepared obstacles and defences. He admitted his advances were not going as quickly as he'd like.
A heat wave is continuing across southern Europe, with temperatures in the central Mediterranean expected to peak today. Forecasters say the Italian island of Sardinia could reach 46 Celsius. Hot weather alerts are also in place across most of Spain. Figures released by a Chinese provincial government have revealed a surge in cremations at the beginning of this year, suggesting the true scale of COVID deaths in China. Cremations in Zhejiang province increased by 72% in the first 3 months compared to last year. Michael Bristow reports.
It's impossible to say that all the excess cremations in Zhejiang were because of COVID deaths. It's also difficult to extrapolate nationwide figures from just one province that's home to only 5% of China's population. But the figures suggest that there was a massive increase in deaths in China at a time when COVID was sweeping the nation. The Chinese government has refused to say how many people have died from the disease. It's even stopped releasing cremation statistics. The Zhejiang figures were quickly taken down shortly after they were published.
The Commonwealth Games Federation says a decision by the Australian state of Victoria to pull out of hosting the next Games is hugely disappointing. Victoria's Premier Dan Andrews blamed soaring costs. Shoma Halil reports from Melbourne.
The Commonwealth Games have been cancelled only once before, during the Second World War. Today, Australia's second state cancelled them because of the cost. Organisers had originally budgeted for nearly $2 billion. Now it's thought the final bill will be 3 times higher. The state premier, Daniel Andrews, said the Games would be all cost and no benefit for Victoria. The chief executive of Commonwealth Games Australia, Craig Phillips, said the cancellation was absolutely embarrassing. Australia has hosted the Commonwealth Games 5 times, including on the Gold Coast in 2018. Other Australian cities such as Sydney are now being touted as potential hosts.
BBC News. A A US submarine with nuclear capability has temporarily docked in South Korea, the first such visit since the 1980s. It follows a promise made by Washington in April to bolster its defense of Seoul due to the growing threat posed by North Korea. Last week, Pyongyang fired a long-range ballistic missile into the Sea of Japan. Demonstrators are out in force in Israel for another day of protest against the government's planned judicial reforms. Thousands of protesters have blocked major roads and junctions nationwide. There have been at least 17 arrests. The former Congolese president, Joseph Kabila, has rejected accusations from neighbouring Uganda that he gave sanctuary to an Islamist rebel group and allowed it to exploit mineral resources. Last week, the Ugandan leader, Yoweri Museveni, said Mr Kabila had allowed the Allied Democratic Forces, or ADF, to set up large camps and to mine gold and sell timber. Staff at McDonald's fast food outlets in Britain have told the BBC of a culture of bullying, sexual assault and racism at the firm. More than 100 current and former members of staff said managers were often the perpetrators of abuse. They said sexual harassment training promised by McDonald's was not taken seriously. Shelby is one of the workers affected.
I was stood on front counter and he came and put his hands onto my hips and pulled me onto his groin area. And then just sort of held me there, and then I was really confused. I froze, I didn't know what to do, and then was told that it wasn't in the camera footage, so I wouldn't be believed anyway.
In response to the allegations, McDonald's acknowledged that it had fallen short and deeply apologised. Police in El Salvador say they've broken up a ring of Colombian fraudsters who stole millions of dollars by posing as small-scale lenders. They're alleged to have stolen the identities of borrowers in El Salvador who failed to repay loans. BBC News.
Hello and welcome to the Arts Hour on the BBC World Service. I'm Nikki Beattie, bringing you a star-studded lineup of guests and some cultural companionship for the next 60 minutes with the best global arts and culture conversation from across the BBC.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk.
The generator fails. Monitor alarms fill the silence. But the surgery goes on by torchlight. They never stop working. And finally, the power returns. The operation continues, but by now, they're running out of blood. She's the anaesthetist. She's shouting that they need blood right now. A frantic search for donors amongst security guards and the families of patients begins. The 17-year-old needs 3 litres of blood. This is life and death stuff. Well, it was getting pretty touch and go for a while now. The blood has arrived. We've just seen a bit of shrapnel that was taken out of this young man's leg. It's about this long. Now they're drilling into it to put the leg back together. It's been quite remarkable. We've had lights going on and off and power dying. And then that lack of blood, but amazing stuff. They still keep going, keep going, keep going. The surgery will continue for another few hours. The boy survives. The founder of the hospital, Dr. Pong, cooks eggs for the theatre team. He knows they'll be exhausted when they're finished. Apart from the operating theatre, there are no lights on. There's danger from above. It's a constant.
Well, the camp's been plunged into darkness as a drone in the skies. This hospital knows that it's on a list that are being pinpointed or trying to be pinpointed by the Myanmar Air Force with bomb strikes from the skies, obviously. But there's some patients have just arrived from the front line, so this is what it's like here in the hospital, where they just have to cut all power and try to stay as quiet as possible.
In the morning, I returned to the ward to speak to the family who had watched on as last night's 17-year-old patient was dealt with. Rosa's son, 21-year-old John Paul, is a resistance fighter. He was hit in the head with shrapnel and has survived brain surgery. She praised the work of the hospital staff who saved his life.
I am so grateful to these doctors. They are so good. I'm amazed they saved his life.
A lot of the young men and young women involved in this revolution are paying a high price, like your son. Are you proud of him, and do you still support everything that's happening?
I'm very proud of him.
And will you keep...
He could hear.
As she tells me, she is proud. Her injured boy is overcome. He can barely move or talk, but he can hear her. We leave them as she consoles him. His survival is a miracle, and they perform miracles here every day. Stuart Ramsey, Sky News, Myanmar.
Well, Sky's Asia correspondent Helen Ann Smith challenged China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs on the situation in Myanmar at a news briefing this morning and is able to join us now.
The accusation is that China is bankrolling the military junta despite its terrible crimes. What do you say to that accusation, and how does China justify its support for this violent and ruthless regime?
As a friendly neighbor of Myanmar, we always believe that different parties and sectors of Myanmar should keep in mind the long-term interest of the people, find the proper solution to the problems through dialogue and consultation, and realize stability and tranquility in the country as soon as possible. We believe that all efforts should be conducive to peace, reconciliation in the country, and should avoid escalation of the issues. This is also what China is doing. If you are saying about the report from the special rapporteur of the UN on the Myanmar issue, what I can tell you is that the special rapporteur have extended its mandate and has been distorting facts. China firmly opposes this.
Helen Ann does join me now live from Beijing. And Helen Ann, clearly China is one of the big neighbours to Myanmar and seen as supporting the military regime there.
Yeah, that's right. It shares a long border, China and Myanmar, and actually China and Myanmar have quite a long, historic and complicated relationship. It's worth saying China was actually a strong friend of Myanmar when there was a democratically elected government in that country, the one that was kicked out by the military junta in 2021. And actually China at first, when that coup happened, held back from offering political support to the junta. It actively rejected meeting with the leaders and things like that. It really did bide its time initially, but a lot of that seems to have changed in recent months. Qin Gong, who's the foreign minister here in China, he actually visited Myanmar just a few months ago in May, and he met with the head of the military junta. And then behind the scenes as well, there is a lot of financial links and financial support. There's big trade links between the country. China is Myanmar's biggest trading partner. There's investment into trade routes. And then there is that report that was put out a few months ago from the UN that said that China has sold over £200 million worth of arms to Myanmar since the coup. So I put some of that, as you heard, to a spokesperson from the Chinese government, Mao Ning. And if we take the first half of her answer, that first half about how China's working to secure dialogue and reconciliation and peace, that's a relatively sort of expected response, if you like, from China. Very similar sentiments are often put forward when they talk about the Ukraine crisis. China likes to position itself as a peacemaker, and it always makes a point of saying it's not its business to get involved in the business of other countries. But what was perhaps slightly more surprising is that she very directly addressed that report from the UN Special Rapporteur, the one that said that China is selling arms to Myanmar, and said very specifically that the UN rapporteur has misstepped his brief, if you like, that he's been distorting facts. So a pretty strong rebuttal there. Look, there is no doubt at all what Myanmar gets out of this friendship and what the military junta get out of this friendship. China is a powerful ally. It's very important financially, and it really lends a legitimacy to the government when people like the Chinese foreign minister go to town to meet them. But what China's getting out of this relationship is more complex, because China, of course, notoriously dislikes instability. But I think it is calculated now that things are stable enough in Myanmar that the junta is unlikely to be kicked out anytime soon, and it has big financial interests in Myanmar. It, through its neighbour, has access to the Indian Ocean and the seaports beyond. That is vital for China and its trade. It's important in terms of the balance of power in the region as well. That really matters to them. Then, of course, there's peace along that border, and some of the sort of border peoples in China, a lot of whom are from ethnic minorities. So there's a lot of reasons why China is sort of quietly and implicitly offering more support to Myanmar now, but certainly it's a matter of major contention around the world.
Helen Ann, thanks so much. And just to remind you, we'll be showing a special programme inside Myanmar tonight, 9 p.m. here on Sky News, and you can read more about Stuart's exclusive story from Myanmar on the Sky News website and app. And you can also listen to Stuart on the Sky News Daily podcast as he joins Kimberly Leonard to share what he and his team have witnessed while undercover deep in the jungle. Now, Europe could see record temperatures today as it continues to endure an extreme heat wave. Temperatures in some areas are predicted to reach at least 46 degrees today, with Spain, Italy and Greece experiencing the worst of the heat. 16 Italian cities are under red alert. The European Space Agency is warning France, Germany and Poland will also be seeing high temperatures in the coming days. Well, Spain saw a high of 47.1 degrees yesterday in Villa Robabeldo, but fell short of the all-time European record. The temperature to beat is 48.8 degrees, which was set in Sicily in August 2021. You would have to go back almost 50 years to find another temperature to match that. Athens hit 48 degrees in 1977. Well, the extreme heat has sparked wildfires in Spain and Greece, and now holidaymakers are being warned to reconsider their travel plans. One of the hottest places on the continent is Sardinia, from where Sky's climate change and energy correspondent Hannah Thomas-Peter reports.
A large fire burns near power lines just south of Athens in Greece. High temperatures and gusts of wind fanning the flames. Over 1,000 children have been evacuated from summer camps in the area. And visitors and residents in several seaside resorts have been told to get out.
The forces of the fire brigade have dealt with 81 forest fires in the last 24 hours. Most were treated immediately at their initial stage. At the moment, we're dealing with 4 large fires. The fire from its start, due to the strong winds, covered 12 kilometres in 2 hours.
On the island of La Palma in Spain, it is a similar picture. Helicopters joining the fight to control a large blaze. The heatwave gripping southern Europe has been unrelenting. In Italy, officials are urging people to stay indoors in the heat of the day. Although at the peak of tourist season, many will choose not to. In Sardinia, the only place to be is in the water. Temperatures will surge again here in the coming days. Europe's highest ever recorded temperature was 48.8 degrees Celsius. That was set on the island of Sicily 2 years ago. The forecasts suggest that record could potentially be broken here on Sardinia, where the temperatures are already up to 10 degrees above average for this time of year. This region is well used to handling heat, but scientists say that climate change is making this sort of weather worse.
In a sense, I mean, if you look back at 2003, which at that time felt as being an extreme heat wave and affected France, Italy, Spain, and other European region. At that time, that was extreme, and climate scientists then said, in the 2020s, this sort of extreme would become actually more commonplace, more frequent, and exactly what we're seeing now.
It's not just Europe. All over the world, records are being challenged or broken. This town in northwest China recording a temperature of over 52 degrees on Sunday, the nation's hottest ever. And in the southern part of the US, over 100 million people, nearly a third of the country's population, find themselves under heat warnings. Another sign of a world being reshaped as it warms. Hannah Thomas-Peter, Sky News.
Well, Hannah has an update for us from Sardinia.
It's just so sticky, humid, and of course incredibly hot here. It's the kind of heat that you don't really want to be outside in unless you have access to the ocean or the pool. And I think that's why when we went to the beach yesterday here near the town of Albury in the north of Ireland, we found it packed and people sort of submerged up to their necks in the sea because it was the best possible place to be. Italian authorities are asking people, because there's a red heat alert across 20 major cities across this country, to stay indoors during the heat of the day. It's actually quite unlikely, I think, that is going to happen. There are so many people here on holiday. But the Italian authorities have also said that there's a new heat protocol in place for hospitals so they can better watch out for and treat victims of heat exposure. But as you say, this is a story that's playing out across southern Europe. We've got those extraordinary fires in Athens creeping closer to the city, fanned by high gusts of wind. Over 1,000 children evacuated from summer camps, seaside resorts. Firefighters still not really able to bring that under full control. And a similar picture in La Palma in Spain as well. And the story we've been covering for the last few days is that this isn't actually just Europe. Record temperatures, as you said there, being threatened or broken all over the world. China setting a new temperature record of over 53 degrees on Sunday, and record temperatures in the US, extremely dangerous temperatures in the southern US.
It's Hannah Thomas-Peter. We've got some breaking domestic news relating to the former Wales and Manchester United footballer Ryan Giggs. He was due to face a retrial later this month over domestic violence allegations. That trial has been abandoned after the charges were withdrawn by the Crown Prosecution Service. Just as a reminder, last year he faced the original trial, accused of assaulting his former partner, Kate Greville, for causing actual bodily harm and using controlling and coercive behaviour. And the charges related to a period between August 2017 and November 2020. Last year, that trial broke down, led to a retrial, albeit, as just mentioned, the retrial, which was due for later this month, has been abandoned after the charges were withdrawn by the Crown Prosecution Service. You're watching Sky News Today with Wilfred Frost, and coming up, the hosts of the 2026 Commonwealth Games pull out, claiming the event isn't value for money.
Well, this is turning into a major humanitarian disaster.
They also need our help.
There's really no reason for them to stay. It's way, way, way too dangerous. There's another casualty just coming through the door now. He's on a stretcher. This is an actual crime. They don't care for that. Disaster, probably crisis. Already it certainly is.
I fight for my own future. I fight for my generation's futures.
and it's moving this way.
Only about half a mile from the Turkish coast, and it's evident that the boat seriously overcrowded. This is one of the most severe viruses in the world. I'm Alex Crawford and I'm Sky's special correspondent based in Istanbul.
This is going to be the biggest party Tripoli has ever seen.
That's it got us then. There's a lot of action going on, a lot of hits going in still. We aim to be the best and the most trusted place in news.
Clearly not had very much to eat at all, a lot of them extremely thin and very frail.
Look at her arms, I can put my entire hand round. This is the cocktail of drugs which the doctors at this hospital have been giving their coronavirus patients. Made for people who want clarity in an uncertain world.
Mother Nature can be vicious, absolutely savage. The world's largest falls now down to a trickle in places.
I can't imagine how much plastic is lying at the bottom of this huge lake. Whoa! Close and personal with her, I know. This is what makes the job so fantastic.
Welcome back. The Australian state of Victoria has pulled out of hosting the 2026 Commonwealth Games, claiming the event is not value for money. It's the second time in a row the hosts of a game has changed over finances. The last games were originally due to be hosted by the South African city of Durban, but it failed to raise enough money. Victoria's State Premier, Daniel Andrews, said pulling out was not a difficult decision.
What's become clear is that the cost of hosting these games in 2026 is not the $2.6 billion which was budgeted and allocated and is sitting, vast majority of which has not been spent. It's not $2.6 billion, it is in fact at least $6 billion and could be as high as $7 billion. And I cannot stand here and say to you that I have any confidence that that even $7 billion number would appropriately and adequately fund these games. The games will not proceed in Victoria in 2026. We have informed Commonwealth Games authorities of our decision to seek to terminate the contract and to not host the games. Look, I've made a lot of difficult calls, a lot of very difficult decisions in this job. This is not one of them. Frankly, $6 to $7 billion for a 12-day sporting event, we are not doing that. That does not represent value for money. That is all cost and no benefit.
Well, the Commonwealth Games Federation say this is hugely disappointing for the Commonwealth sport movement, for athletes around the Commonwealth and the organising committee, who are well advanced in their planning and preparation. Up until this point, the government had advised that sufficient funding was available to deliver the Victoria 2026 Commonwealth Games. We're going to take a quick look at the weather now.
Warm memories wherever you go.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk. Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk.
This is my testimony. I was lost, messed up, bitter, hurt, and had no peace. Nothing was working for me. But then I attended the Lady to Lady Global Conference. My whole life just turned around. God changed my story, and yours can change too. I invite you to this year's conference, holding on Saturday the 22nd of July 2023 at Fairfield Halls, Croydon, United Kingdom. Doors open at 11 a.m. Register now for free at www.ladytoladyglobal.org. The theme for this year is peace. You heard me, peace. For more info, call 0203 983 9394. God bless you and see you there.
Best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Star Radio.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Star Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Online, on mobile, and soon on DAB. This is Star Radio UK, the leading Afro-Caribbean radio station in London.
Body is your man. Bekutu, show them you got the cocoa set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harrison, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Star Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for who? For here, we they call them London. And that's how you know. Just have fun and stay blessed.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Star Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Star Radio UK and The Morning Show.
This is Star Radio. This is UK. Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Star Radio.
later they fade. Jesus, and that's what makes you great. You hold the world in your hands. The hand I made.
Okay, let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you are or might be listening or watching us from this morning. This is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, on the Tuesday edition of the morning show. Let me first of all sincerely apologize to all our wonderful listeners and viewers that were not able to come live on air yesterday. Well, some technical hitches were going on. And therefore we couldn't come on. We started the broadcast and then we had a bit of issue with the internal supplies to the premises, and therefore we had to be getting the technical team via our internet providers to sort it out. But thank God, when it came on, it was too late for us to have the live program, and that's why you didn't have the morning show. But my bishop, good morning. I know that you were waiting in anticipation. My apologies sincerely for that, and to all the staff and the team at the RBS office in Lagos, Nigeria. Yes, myself and Mr. Olayomi, Koiki, my able producer, and my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy. Let me say good morning to you all, gentlemen. They were all working behind the scenes to make sure that everything works on well, so that today we can come back on. Love for you runs. So let me say morning also to my brother Felix all the way in Aberdeen, Kojo D in the south here. Kojo, it was nice talking to you the other time. And let me say also good morning to Olakunle, Aziz, good morning to you. Anthony Adedeji, good morning to you. So Maxwell, good morning. Moyiwa, good morning. So they say all and sundry. Let me salute you all. But today is a special day for Mrs. Evelyn Tabiri, the wife of our able money man, Mr. Dan Tabiri. Mrs. Evelyn Tabiri is celebrating her birthday today, and say, Mrs. Tabiri, good morning and happy birthday to you, and to every one of you who is listening to us, or viewing us. If you are celebrating any special day or doing anything special, we say enjoy your day. That is our prayer on this platform, as we say, Nigeria will not happen to you. So once again, welcome to the program. Well. Then by now you know that on the Tuesday edition, that's how the program goes. I'm going to bring you the code for the Tuesday edition. My apologies. I'm going to bring you the code for the day. The weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. And I'll move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. It's known as Global Trotting. Then after that, we'll continue to look at some of the other stories making the rounds in Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. Now, after that conversation, we'll continue to have a look at some of the other stories around the globe, and then at 12 o'clock, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions. We'll continue from then. So 12:30 when we bring the curtains down. But as we say on this platform, from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar, it's making the headlines. We're going to touch on it. But if you are standing, hold on to something. If you are sitting, sit very comfortably, buckle up, get yourself a hot or cold drink, whichever is appropriate, and let's take this journey. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
And before we continue, let's take this quick commercial break and I'll be with you. Stay tuned, don't you go away.
God bless you, people of God. My name is Chaplain Nesim Chimbaba, the president of Divine Shalom Global Outreach. Yes, Lady to Lady is here once again. Yes, theme, peace. Wow, what a lovely and beautiful and powerful topic. Lady to Lady is a place where solutions are solved in the precious and matchless name of Jesus. I remember precisely almost 7 years ago, I came to Lady and
This is my testimony. I was lost, messed up, bitter, hurt, and had no peace. Nothing was working for me. But then I attended the Lady to Lady Global Conference. My whole life just turned around. God changed my story, and yours can change too. I invite you to this year's conference, holding on Saturday the 22nd of July 2023 at Fairfield Halls, Croydon, United Kingdom. Doors open at 11 a.m. Register now for free at www.ladytoladyglobal.org. The theme for this year is peace. You heard me, peace. For more info, call 0203 983 9394. God bless you and see you there.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I bring the time down to 10:46. So, the quote for the day says what? It said the most important part of every human resource is the brain or mind. So, I tell people all the time, if the devil fights you, if the devil or you yourself fight yourself, up there, you are finished. I mean, if you are conquered up there, you will be towing the line according to what? I mean, whoever is controlling you or is abusing you psychologically is doing. All right, then. So it's very important. You have to be resilient there. All right, let's move on because we are pressed with time already from the word go. Now, when it comes to the weather front, yes, there are issues happening when it comes to the weather front in Europe and all over the place. But hey, let me tell you what is happening here in the UK. At least for now, we don't have any hot or scorching sunshine here, but it's happening in Europe. But here in London and the southeast of England, this is how the weather is going to be for you today. A few areas of cloud will edge in from the north through the afternoon. It's going to be turning the sunshine quite hazy at times, but it will stay dry throughout. Now tonight, a change tonight is a little change is going to take place, as it should remain dry and settled. There will be a mix of clear spells and areas of cloud drifting in from the west at times. But the total temperature is going to be 23 degrees and the west is going to be 14 degrees. Pollen level is going to be moderate, UV level is going to be moderate, pollution is going to be low. Sunset 21:09 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 05:04 hours. And that brings us to the end of the weather forecast. Okay, it is all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, and that takes us straight to the travel update. But stay tuned, that will be after this quick commercial break.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads as we keep you navigated. I promise our bond. The Starr Radio Travel Update comes away every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:49. So let's move on. Let's say good morning to Dave West. Maestro himself. He brings you the conscious reggae time. And I said our technical team or the teams are working on the apps. And once it's ready, he's going to be up there bringing you another smasher of a program there when it comes to reggae. Look nowhere or no other place else. All right then. So what is happening on travel this morning? For those of you in England and UK as a whole, but you can share with us what is happening in your area. I would love to know that. Well, on the underground this morning, good service throughout. London Tram Link has passed suspension between Arena MSN due to a shortage of trams, and a good service on all other London tram routes. Now, tickets have been accepted on London buses. Extra buses are operating on Route 64, 289 and 466 during peak periods on Saturday and Sunday between 12 to 20 hours. Now, when it comes to the London Overground, there are severe delays between Gospel Oak and Barking Riverside due to a person ill on a train earlier at Leytonstone High Road. Good service on all other routes, though. moving on straight to the major roads in London, A10 and North Circular A406 have got serious delays. If you can avoid them, do your best to do so. But keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. Now moving on straight to the river bus. Now, apart from the Woolwich Ferry that's got reduced service, all the others are running very, very good service there. Now moving on straight to the cable car, the London cable car, and good service there as well. To the final segment of the travel update, that is the National Rail. But continue to keep your eyes on the roads, and we will keep you navigated. I promise our boy. Now, so on the National Rail this morning, Chiltern Railways, Grand Central, and Island Line have all got special service. Also, Southwestern Railway, Southern Thames Link have also got special service. Northern Rail and Transport for Wales has got minor delays. That aside, all the others are running a very, very good service there. So I promise you, you can have a good journey. But wherever you are, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
This is my testimony. I was lost, messed up, bitter, hurt, and had no peace. Nothing was working for me. But then I attended the Lady to Lady Global Conference. My whole life just turned around. God changed my story, and yours can change too. I invite you to this year's conference, holding on Saturday the 22nd of July 2023 at Fairfield Halls, Croydon, United Kingdom. Doors open at 11 a.m. Register now for free at www.ladytoladyglobal.org. The theme for this year is peace. You heard me, peace. For more info, call 0203 983 9394. God bless you and see you there.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, today we got lots to talk about when it comes to Nigeria, because yesterday we didn't have the opportunity. But hey, when it comes to, that's time for Global Trotting. But when it comes to Nigeria, these are some of the issues or stories that we're going to be looking at. Now, on the teenage sister fake kidnap and demand 100,000 ransom. Well. In desperate situations, that's what people end up doing. You know, if the system is not working, an idle hand in the devil's workshop, as we say. Now, MFLA lawyers file contempt charge against DSS Director General. How many contempt charges have they not filed against the DSS people? And when even the court rules against them, do they give a hoot? They don't. Well, we'll be telling you more about why MFLA's lawyers have done so. How Nigerians fight. And Nigerians will fight insecurity. Service chiefs have come out with it. A suspended EFCC chair spends 33 days in custody. Well, people are spending time in custody, you know. Well, they said there's a new sheriff in town, and therefore people are doing things differently. Now, politicians flooding government house, distracting me. Akwa Ibom governor is saying in an anger anxiety envelope also rock as Tinubu insists on nominating bribery tainted Ganduje as cabinet minister. Wow. Some people are thinking, no. So what is happening there? We're going to be telling you more about all that in a moment, but it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is